Nothing derails a fantastic WrestleMania than zero follow-through. There hadn't always been a pay-per-view the following month after WrestleMania for quite some time, actually. So we had to tune back in on TV and hope we connected the dots with the storylines and just wait for SummerSlam. Oh, that's right. They didn't even have SummerSlam for the first 3 years of WrestleMania. So let's do a history on the pay-per-views and PLEs that came after Mania. There hadn't always been like an immediate answer to Mania. You know, like
not inherently.
We're so spoiled with the Raw after Mania, you know, like being one of the best Raws of the year, but we didn't always have that.
Yeah, it's like Backlash, right? I mean, that's always now
so I expected to find Backlash, and that was just the thing. But dude, they have been all over the place with pay-per-views the month after Mania.
Yeah, I mean, Backlash is a horrible pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I grew up with Backlash.
Just running the same storylines.
You run this, like, I remember, again, when I first started watching wrestling, as you all know, if you're a fan of this podcast, was with WrestleMania 20, and then they ran the Backlash. After that, it was the same match, same triple threat match. Benoit won again.
You'll see on our research case quite some time.
I will say, though, that Backlash had Mick Foley versus Randy Orton, where Randy Orton went on thumbtacks. And that match,
which you don't see,
was incredible. So what I will say is that Backlash, and I've been to a Backlash. I went to the Backlash after WrestleMania, I think 34, WrestleMania New Orleans.
Okay,
it was not good.
It was not
for
good.
Many years. They just have not known what to do with Backlash. Luckily, the past few years, it's been much better.
There were some years, so we'll get into it. There were some years they did great, and there were some years you could tell they're just like, let's just keep it moving. So WrestleMania was 85. First WrestleMania. Survivor Series came along in 1987 between Mania 3 and 4. And then SummerSlam the following year, and also the Royal Rumble. So we got 1988, we have the Big Four. And it stays that way for a while. Heading into the 90s, we start getting there in like 1993. We get our first King of the Ring pay-per-view. And that's in June. Mania was in April. So still nothing in May, but we're getting closer. It did fix the Mania blunder of that year where they had the Hogan, Bret Hart, Yoko mess where they screwed Bret because Hogan came back. He got punched in the face by Randy Savage for his troubles. But they did fix that blunder with Yoko getting his belt back from Hogan at the King of the Ring that year. So already a little follow-up from Mania. But this is 93. 8 years later, we're finally getting a little follow-up here. Then our first pay-per-view the month after Mania. You'll never guess. They loved it in the 90s. In Your House.
In Your House. There was always In Your House.
In Your House, number 1, May 95. Mania 11 was April 95. Followed up with a lot of the Mania storylines. It was Diesel versus Sid at In Your House 1 because Sid helped Michaels unsuccessfully try to get the belt off of Diesel at Mania. And then we also continued the unnecessary Lawler-Bret Hart rivalry from Mania, which was just Lawler talking trash about Stu Hart. That would start a run there where if it wasn't the Big Four, it was In Your House. So we got the Big Four and then In Your House every other month. They ended up having, we'll do a deep dive on them sometime, but they ended up having 27 In Your Houses.
Wow. Too many. Too many In Your Houses.
Too many In Your House. And then, of course, towards the end, they started naming each one of them.
Yeah.
They would have the pay-per-view matches, then the main event, and then 3 dark matches. I guess they were still under that Saturday night main event thing where they're like, get the good matches out first in case anyone leaves. I don't understand. And then they also had a pre-show called the Free-For-All, which had another match or 2. So these pay-per-views ended up being like 8 matches, but only 4 or 5 of them would make it on the pay-per-view.
Right.
After WrestleMania 12, we got In Your House 7. It was Shawn versus Diesel. It was actually Diesel's last televised match before he went to WCW. Because the whole curtain call was off camera. It wasn't a televised Madison. It was just a house show. That WrestleMania was the Shawn Bret Iron Man.
Okay, yeah.
And then Diesel lost to Taker. So I don't think we would have gotten Diesel versus Shawn if Diesel wasn't leaving. The next year, Taker won the gold at Mania from Psycho Sid. So now we're at In Your House 14. And this is when they start giving them names. This is Revenge of the Taker. Undertaker would defeat Mankind to retain his title. But that wasn't even the main event. The belt was not in the main event. The main event was a number one contender where Stone Cold defeated Bret Hart via DQ. And then the next night, Stone Cold and Triple H and HBK would be the tag champions too. The next year, 1998, Mania has HBK passing the torch to Austin, followed by Unforgiven in Your House. So we're starting to get there.
Yeah.
Because Unforgiven had its own legs after that.
I loved Unforgiven. That was a good pay-per-view.
Gone is the free-for-all pre-show and the dark matches, so they're treating this like a real pay-per-view. Kane lost an Inferno match to Undertaker, and Dude Love defeated Austin via DQ, but Austin kept his belt. Then in 1999, we got our first Backlash. Here you go. Backlash is here. Mania 15 saw Stone Cold win the belt from Rock. He would beat The Rock again, but this time with Shane as the guest referee. This was during all the McMahon kerfuffles of the late 90s.
Yeah. WrestleMania 2000, you've got McMahon in every corner.
Linda, Vince, Shane, Steph.
Yeah. It was a title match. Triple H would win that title match at WrestleMania 2000. So 2000, they run Backlash back. Let's run it back. This McMahon feud would carry over. Vince, Shane, Steph, they would try to screw The Rock in his match with Triple H. But Linda would save the day.
Good old Linda.
She was on the side of The Rock. I got to go back and watch some of these.
Yeah, dude.
The Rock would retain. Many believe this was like the best post-Mania pay-per-view up until this point, which I'm sure it was. It sounds like, it was star-studded.
Right.
Everybody...
What a roster in the late 90s.
The business was peaking at that point. WrestleMania 17, iconic. Stone Cold versus The Rock. Stone Cold wins the belt from The Rock. Then we get the two-man power trip with Triple H was started that next night. Two-man power trip would defeat the Brothers of Destruction for the tag belts at Backlash 2000.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
What could have been if Triple H didn't get hurt? I think they would have ran the two-man power trip for a hot minute.
So we've got something here, right? Like Backlash, it has some name, it has some branding. People know what's to come. So they run with Backlash for a while. They really do. And Backlash even gets a couple of updated names like WrestleMania Backlash and Backlash France.
I'm not going to lie to you. I hated WrestleMania Backlash because they shoved wrestling. They were like, tune in next month to WrestleMania Backlash.
It's when the business was really struggling and they were just trying to hang on to all of their biggest things for us. It was tough. Really tough. That was 2021 and 2022. God, they called it WrestleMania Backlash 2 years in a row. Horrible. And it's crazy as wrestling fans, we just watched it. There's so much of that I just didn't retain.
The world was on fire, man. We were like, please something save us. And wrestling was doing its best, but man, it was struggling.
Yeah, so let's rewind. We're back to WrestleMania 18, where we get Rock versus Hogan.
Icon versus Icon.
Which was incredible. Triple H would defeat Jericho for the belt. Then we would get Backlash, where Hogan would defeat Triple H, which was crazy, for the belt.
So that is probably a good microcosm then early days listening to the fans.
Yeah.
Because, Hogan went into that as Hollywood Hogan, came out as the red and yellow, and had one more run as red and yellow Hulk Hogan. Mm-hmm. And so they're like, put the belt on him.
Taker would win the number one contender tournament at Backlash, and then Taker would go on to defeat Austin in the finals, where Ric Flair was that guest referee. WrestleMania 19, pretty incredible WrestleMania. Seattle. Rock would leave WWE after beating Austin. They would run that back for a second time. Lesnar would go against Kurt Angle. Incredible match. Lesnar would defeat Kurt Angle. God, that backwards moonsault thing was incredible. Unbelievable. But it turns out, after WrestleMania 19, Rock said he was leaving, but he didn't leave because he's back. There's Rock Appreciation Night on Monday Night Raw. And this is when we get the debut of Goldberg in WWE. And Goldberg shows up to confront The Rock.
Isn't this when The Rock was like pulling his, I need y'all to want me. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm leaving. Wait, y'all don't care if I leave? I'm back. Wasn't that the needy Rock years?
And so Backlash 2003 was actually a pretty good Backlash. Goldberg would defeat The Rock, pretty lopsided match. And then they would do Lesnar versus Cena at that. Very young gentleman, but Lesnar would beat John Cena to retain the belt. Then we get to where I started. Love talking about WrestleMania 20. Triple threat, main event, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit would win. The other main event match, Kurt Angle, Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero would win.
An event we would definitely praise a lot more if we could.
Yeah. Backlash 2004, they run that triple threat back at, again, Backlash, but that wasn't really the thing that everyone walked away from that Backlash. Everyone walked away from that Backlash with the image of thumbtacks all in Randy Orton's back, barbed wire to his skull. That match was brutal. We all walked away being like, is Randy Orton okay? Horrifying match. WrestleMania 21 and Backlash 05. We basically get Batista winning and retaining Big Goldie against Triple H. So they do that match those times.
The thumbs down one, right?
No, that was against Randy Orton. So when it came to Batista, that was a bit of a different.
Well, I thought Batista.
Oh, Batista did that to Triple H.
He redid it.
Yeah,
you know, because I know he got the thumbs down when they kicked out Randy Orton, but I thought he had a callback.
He did do a callback. You're right. He did do a callback. And then in 2006, we get Mania 22. Where we get Cena versus Triple H, wild times. For Backlash, they add Edge. They make it a triple threat match. Cena wins.
Okay.
So again, they're basically doing the same thing. Like if WrestleMania is supposed to end the season, I mean, it really isn't actually.
I feel like they got lazy when they called it Backlash because then they're like, just run it back.
Yeah. And again, you're giving people WrestleMania matches, again.
Yeah, I mean, the feud might not be over, you know what I mean?
But, you're diluting the impact of that initial Mania match.
Remember how many times they gave us AJ and Shinsuke?
Mm-hmm. We get to WrestleMania 23, where in 2007, now Donald Trump has entered the picture. He goes against Mr. McMahon, where they've got Lashley and Umaga serving as their muscles. It's nonsense. Vince and Shane and Umaga would end up beating Lashley for the ECW title. Yeah. And then, Cena would defeat Edge, Orton, and HBK in a fatal four-way. Yeah.
WrestleMania 24, Undertaker got Big Goldie by defeating the champion Edge, and Orton would retain versus Cena and Triple H. They love their triple threats back then. Mm-hmm. And then a Backlash, Undertaker retained against Edge, and Triple H would win because they just added JBL. It was Triple H, Orton, and Cena again, just with JBL, and Triple H would win this time. So. 25th edition of Mania, Triple H retains his belt versus Orton. Cena wins Big Goldie versus Big Show and La Familia member Edge, who came in with the belt. But Vicky was not happy about that. That was that Jericho defeating the Legends after Rourke back out Mania. So in Backlash of that same year, we get Edge getting the belt back in a last man standing match for Cena. And Legacy helping Orton win the title in a 6-man tag. Legacy versus Triple H, Batista, and Shane. So it's weird to see the WWE belt change in a 6-man tag. Mm-hmm. 2010, new decade. Gone is Backlash after Mania. They switch it up on us. They give us Extreme Rules as the pay-per-view after Mania. So Mania 26, Taker ends HBK's career. Cena defeated Batista, took his WWE title away from him. They would run that back as Extreme Rules. Cena would win the rematch. And then Swagger had won Money in the Bank at Mania. He cashed in on Jericho on a SmackDown, I believe, and he would defeat Orton at Extreme Rules. Mm. It was also the second edition of Extreme Rules. The first one was a June pay-per-view in 2009, so they decided to move it up a month and be right after Mania. We're keeping with the Extreme Rules. Miz defeated Cena at Mania, but lost a triple threat versus Cena and Morrison at Extreme Rules. Mm. So got his Mania moment and then gave the title to Cena.
Yeah.
At least they didn't just have Cena win both matches. I respect that. Mm-hmm. 2012, we get our first Rock Cena match. Greatest match of all time.
It's pretty good.
So good we did it twice.
It's good.
Punk defeated Jericho. That's when they were both doing the greatest. I'm the GOAT. No, I'm the GOAT. No, I'm the GOAT. This was that beautiful era that delighted Punk so much, where Punk would be champion, but Cena would headline. We also had that epic Triple H Taker end of an era, Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
So at Extreme Rules, Lesnar came back the Monday after Raw, and so Cena defeated Lesnar at that Extreme Rules. That was really the only big match from that Extreme Rules, 2012. Cena would get his revenge against The Rock at Mania 28, and Triple H held off his own retirement against Brock. So in Extreme Rules, Lesnar got his lick back, defeating Triple H in a steel cage match. And that Extreme Rules was marred by The Shield have arrived. The Shield had debuted that previous Survivor Series. They won the U.S. title for Ambrose, defeating Kofi, and the tag titles, Roman and Seth, defeating Team Hell No. So The Shield was the big winners from Extreme Rules after that Mania. That was 2013. 2014 saw Daniel Bryan. He had that big Mania moment where he beat Triple H and then beat Orton and Batista to get his title. He would retain Big Goldie against former Team Hell No teammate Kane. Bray Wyatt would get a big steel cage match over Cena. He should have had Bray beat Cena at Mania, but he at least got the win over Cena at Extreme Rules. We're now in 2015. Seth had just pulled off the heist of the century at Mania, defeating Lesnar and Roman Reigns. And then in Extreme Rules, he defeated Orton because the RKO was banned and Kane was the enforcer. This is corporate. This is the authority, Seth Rollins, when they were moving on from Randy Orton, and Seth was their guy. The year is 2016, and Payback is now the pay-per-view after Mania. It was actually the 4th edition. They did the same thing with Extreme Rules. It was in June. They just moved it up a month. They moved Extreme Rules back down the month. That year had Roman defeating Triple H at Mania, and then he had that great match with Styles at Payback. Retained the title. We also had KO versus Sammy as well in that Payback 2016. WrestleMania 33, Brock won the belt from Goldberg. Roman defeated Taker because gone is a streak. What does it matter anymore? Taker just loses at Mania now, I guess. It was his yard, Big Dog's yard. Orton took Bray's WWE Championship. So at Payback 2017, Bray defeated Orton in a House of Horrors with Jinder Mahal's help. Didn't think I'd say that sentence. And the Bar versus the Hardys, and Strowman destroyed Roman Reigns. So that leads us into 2018.
WrestleMania 34, New Orleans. I was there. Shirts right up there. Brock would retain against Roman. AJ would defeat Shinsuke. Both matches super hyped up. Pretty lackluster though. After that, we would get the greatest Royal Rumble of all time. Following that, the 50-man Royal Rumble. We would get arguably the greatest clip from a Royal Rumble, which is Titus O'Neil falling under the ring.
I think about Titus O'Neil falling so much that I forgot Chris Jericho's number 50.
Yep. Braun Strowman would win that greatest Rumble of all time, but then they would still give us a backlash. This was when they were doing so much and they couldn't keep up with all the creative.
You'd have three PLEs in 6 weeks.
It's crazy. But they would do another Styles win versus Nakamura. I think they would also run Samoa Joe versus Roman Reigns at that one. I was there at that backlash as well. That was in New Jersey. Mania 35. Ladies headline for the first time.
Yeah,
that's where we get Becky 2 belts over Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair. This is where we would also get Kofi Mania. Kofi would win the WWE title. Seth would win the Universal title from Brock Lesnar finally.
I am glad that Kofi got his moment. I'm just devastated with how it ended.
Yeah. Mania 35 was a great Mania. Right after that, they hit us with the Shields. Final chapter. They give us their own pay-per-view.
It's an own pay-per-view. It was 3 matches
on WWE Network.
They were real. I mean, that I'm okay with because they were really pushing the network, and I miss the network.
Don't we all? And the Shield would defeat Bobby Lashley, Baron Corbin, and Drew McIntyre.
What a weird threesome to put up against the Shield in their final match.
Right. Then we get WrestleMania 36. This is the first 2-night WrestleMania. It's during the pandemic. It's very weird.
I forgot until I did this research the first 2-night Mania came from.
Yeah, I think it was just going to be one night, wasn't it? And then they decided to do 2 nights.
Yeah, they're like, I mean, what else are we doing?
It's kind of crazy. Like, God bless WWE for being like,
y'all got nothing.
Y'all got nothing else going on.
Which we did.
So they would run that, and then immediately after that, they would switch it up, and they would give us Money in the Bank for the first time after Mania.
All right.
And that's
wow. I kind of wish that still was a thing. I would kind of wish it was Mania and Money in the Bank, right? But bam.
Yeah, and they would run that at the WWE headquarters in Connecticut because they were moving offices, so they destroyed their old office before they left.
That was brutal.
Yeah, Otis and Asuka would win a ladder match that was basically happening at the same time.
What's crazy is the match was at the same exact time, and I thoroughly enjoyed the women's version. Hated the men's version. Mm-hmm. It's insane. I'm watching it at the same time.
But it was a cool thing that they did.
Yeah.
Or tried to do.
They just killed it with Otis not even climbing a ladder and winning. Knowing they weren't going to do nothing with him.
So we get now we're in 2021, right? And WrestleMania Backlash. It's back, but it's called WrestleMania Backlash. At the first one, at WrestleMania 2021, we got Roman with Jey Uso, and Heyman defeating Edge and Daniel Bryan in a triple threat. He would stack them. I think you'd remember he'd stack them. And then they would give us something random. Right after that, at WrestleMania Backlash, they give us Roman versus Cesaro, which we all like that. We all thought Cesaro was deserving.
Yes. And he put on a match. He put on a great match.
But, I mean, this was still in front of nobody.
Yeah.
Right? They still didn't have any fans, and it was quite uncomfortable. Dom and Ray defeated Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode for the SmackDown tag titles at that Mania Backlash.
I forgot the Dirty Dogs, Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode.
WrestleMania 38 is where Roman unifies the titles in Texas against Brock Lesnar. Match. Best WrestleMania match of all time. Biggest WrestleMania match
since
of all
Rock
time.
had Cena twice.
At Mania Backlash, Bloodline would defeat Drew McIntyre and RK Bro.
What a random combo. Drew McIntyre and RK Bro.
I can only imagine what that even looked like.
Right.
We would have been back in front of fans, so I'm curious what that even looked like.
I need to go back and watch that. But it's tough to go back and watch WrestleMania.
Yeah. 2023 is when Backlash started to get good again, right? Because Mania 39, Cody loses to Roman, but then that sets him on a feud with Brock Lesnar. So they would do.
All they had to do was drop the WrestleMania part of it. Let it stand on its own.
Yeah. KO and Sammy won the tag titles from the Usos at WrestleMania. So then this Backlash is kind of stacked because Cody versus Brock. Cody would defeat Brock Lesnar at Backlash. The Bloodline, Solo and the Usos would defeat KO, Sammy, and Riddle. And then we would get that San Juan Street fight, Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest.
Biggest
huge
pop I've heard.
Yeah, so really, Backlash 2023 was really
Carlito came
great.
back for the LWO.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was huge. Yeah, next year, WrestleMania 40, Cody finally finishes his story, beating Roman Reigns, becoming the undisputed championship. And then they would Backlash 2024. They'd be in Europe, and they would run AJ Styles versus Cody Rhodes, and really what is a really great classic match.
All I will forever remember is that camera moving. They were chanting so loud.
Yeah. And then Bianca and Jade would win their women's tag titles.
Starting a big story.
Yeah. And that gets us up to last year, Backlash 2025. Cena is on his retirement tour. And we get Cena versus Orton in St. Louis.
St. Louis.
And I don't know if I recall how good or bad that match was. I think I recall it being pretty good.
It was status quo.
Yeah.
Orton got a lot of offense in. Cena got the win.
Yeah. And Gunther and McAfee would go at it, which ended up being
way better than it should have been.
Way better than it should have been. And again, kudos to McAfee. Why are we giving this guy so much shit?
Again, dude, I think the McAfee thing is the Danhausen effect. It's not on him that he's back. It's the way they built this up.
Yeah.
If they just wouldn't have said the family line, that's all they had to leave out.
Yeah.
And this works. But because Orton said the family line, it got everyone's expectations up here.
Yep.
And then, of course, anybody that's not, unfortunately, anyone that didn't come out as The Rock or Vince McMahon was going to be a letdown.
Yep.
So it's no qualms on McAfee. It's just they built it up again.
They messed it up.
Yeah, that's the crazy pay-per-views after Mania.
Yeah, so looking forward to what we get this year.
I don't think they can afford to give us a bad pay-per-view after Mania.
Have they announced a Backlash yet?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, it's in Tampa.
Yeah.
Backlash Tampa 2026.
And I don't think it's that far off of Mania. I think it's like
Yeah, it's probably just a couple weeks.
early in May.
Yeah.
So
We're the Spandex Stand-Ups. Smash the like button. Hit a follow. Drop a comment.
and enjoy Backlash.
And enjoy Backlash.
We'll see you next time.